I remember to plug in my mom's phone, but I need to remind myself to plug in my phone because I can't see it if it's going down. I'm not going to reset this up again. But I forget. It's like, oh yeah, I need to pay attention to the fact that my battery also dies. I think what I'm gonna have to do is this cord has two. Now I'm gonna start doing, guys, this cord that I have, this block has two, I think it does. Let me check, hold on a second. Yep. This cord has two plugs. So what I'm going to start doing is getting my mom's plug in the bedroom so that both phones are just tied up to things, and then we won't have that problem again. Because it's the second time that I've remembered, oh yeah, you need to pay attention to the fact that your phone has a, I guess it was time for me to head off anyway, but I didn't want to leave you all the way I was, because that wasn't very nice. Y'all have hung with me this whole entire time, and I'm like, oh yeah. So I'm gonna start getting her cord and plugging her cord in and my cord in, and then I don't have to worry about either phone dying because the phone is facing downward. So I can't see when it says, oh, battery's low. I can't tell when it is because it's down. I have no way of seeing it. So, I'm liking that. I'm thinking of taking this, we're gonna make another modification to it because I really like having that, I'll show you in a second. And then I think after this, I'm gonna call it quits. Do I need to make some modifications on this pattern? Yes. Do I feel like it's hopeless? No. I certainly feel a lot better than I did before about it. That's for sure. But, I can tell you too, it is giving me a little break with my hands with the crochet, because sometimes after a while, and two, having this little device and not one that digs into your hands, I would highly recommend. If you're going to do this, get a tool, a seam ripper. I saw one at Walmart I want to get just because I want to try that one, because you definitely need one that's kind of ergonomic. Those other ones, man, they really hurt your wrist after a while. The older ones that just are like squares. Yep. I'm going to show you all in a minute. I made a little modification because I wanted to kind of take this down so that it had the sides, not totally the bottom being the same print. There's still some modifications. I think that, first of all, the B needs to be like the D, where I have the, and I'll show you in a second when I put it up there. That's one of them. I also think that the spacing of the letters may need to be a little bit more if it was going to be done in fabric form. I also want to try it with the wood letters and see what that looks like, just because I want to see that. So this is a pattern I think that I won't put up for a little bit in the merch store. I'm going to put the rose up. That will always be our first one. That will always be free, and I need to put that one up. But I want to do the cross. That one can go up because that's going to be a real easy one to do, for sure, right off the bat. And I do want to do the cross with the fabric, one of the crosses, with the fabric that I got from that sweet lady in our community. So I want to give her, I want to make one totally of her fabric because she said it meant something to her, and I want to make one cross and take it to her and say, here you go. So, anyway, so let me show you. Bring you down a little bit so you're not so far. I'm still learning. I lose y'all. Sorry. Let's do that. I need to hold it, not do it. Okay. Sorry for the drop. Okay, so first of all, the things I've seen so far that I would change with this pattern when I do it, when I put it up there, is I'm going to make this possibly totally flat. I'm going to do what I'm doing with the pattern. If I did this so that this is a straight line across, and just kind of doing this a little differently on the top and making this much more rounded and more straight. That's the first thing. I think the letters need to be spaced out a little bit more to make it easier for the fabric to go in between. And this also needs to be cut here and here, just like the D is kind of done. So those are the few little tweaks I would make if you're doing it with fabric. But like I said, I got this, and we'll probably do it again with doing a line here and a line here, so that you could go to like any store and be able to put that in the middle like that if you wanted to make it much more 3D, making the heart a little bit lower, but absolutely doing that like this, or being able to get wood letters to be able to put fabric on, so that you could literally put the wood letters and then just put a solid piece of fabric going across here and having the letters come through that. So that's one thing. So this is a pattern that's going to be a little work in progress. Probably not the smartest thing this girl could have done to start on her second project. I'm going to do the cross. So I can get, the cross is what I'm going to do. Just so I can get some of these patterns up to, I snap back up to on the merch store, and they're going to be like $1, $2 download, so that you guys have some patterns to work with. But I want to make them easy. This one, I have some tweaks to make. I also need to learn how to do this on Canva, and I have to kind of work with Canva a little bit. I know Canva very well, but this is just something to work on. But I really think that, honestly, I was kind of a little bit like, well, maybe letters wouldn't work, but I think they do. It's just learning, how to do it. I think the trick of putting a little glue on the little edges where you think you may start to get frays on is a great idea. I think that is a great idea, because that kind of prevents those little spots, like right here. I don't know if you can tell, like right here. We just stuck a little glue there. I had to stick a little glue like right in this area, because it was just going to not work here. I'd probably carry this L all the way to the E. Forget this little corner spot down here. I'm just going to carry the L when I do it down to here. Another thing you couldn't necessarily do, because you're going to have creases in this part here, and that would be hard to do if you're spacing out the letters a little bit more, because the B would be hard to do, because you're still going to have, no matter what you do, a little bit of possible space, maybe and maybe not. The only way you could not have space is if you literally made this a block and you put this in the middle, which you could do. You could do this in the middle, make this a total block, have it butt up to here, forget this little space in the middle, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Make it and make the X's here, have this butt up to the E, have the E butt up to the next letter. The S, the only thing is with the S, you would have, there's no way to make the S without having a little bit of something in here. So I don't know if that would totally work either. But it's just, this is going to be a little work in progress. My thing about this is really that most likely what is going to turn up for this is literally going to be 2 inches down, top and down, having this look a little different on the top, and being able to put wood letters, which you could do and put them with fabric. I will order some off Amazon. The thing about it is, if we ever did a kit with this pattern, I'd probably say I'm not going to continue to order them on Amazon because I'll probably have like 20 or more of X and Y's and Z's, things I wouldn't do. But you can cut wood on your Cricut machine, which we do have, embossed wood, and be able to do our own boards and stuff if we ever put a kit together for this. So I really want to see what it would look like with word letters. I like the blessed part. My only thing about this, and I just got it because I wanted to see it, and it's not that I really do want to do it. My only thing is with this, is I think it would, I think I'd get rid of the heart if I did this. Possibly, but still, this is really raised to where this is. You know, it wouldn't look bad, but it would be really raised. You know, or I would do this more, on the bottom if I did this one, but I just grabbed it because I thought, you never know. I don't know if I totally like it because it's got somewhat of a thickness for the top. If this was thin, it would be fine, and you could paint this and put it there. So my next thing for this is we're going to finish it, but I do want to try this again using the wood letters, because I really want to do some with wood letters. I want to look into doing ones and having like a solid pattern that we do names, like if somebody had a baby or something, wanted their child's name across it, or they got married and they would want it. I want to be able to do that, but I don't know if this is totally the solution. I think the solution is get an upper pattern, get a lower pattern, and this one just happened to work with the sun, but this same design on the bottom could work on the top, and then that would probably be what would happen. It's the same design on the bottom, it's the same design on the top, and then you just have the space. The thing is, if we did kits, that's another thing that I'm thinking. If we did kits, it would be difficult. Well, it wouldn't be unless you're really good with eyeing where things go. Not everybody is, to be able to make the placement for the letters. And that's where I've got to get my brain thinking. One of the things I thought was you could literally make a template on Cricut for that space, and it could cut so that people could literally line it up and be able to know exactly where to put the letters, or be able to do it so there was kind of like a bar going across and then the letters dropping exactly where they need to be. If you weren't great with eyeing them, it's just, that's my only thing. Or, you know, I don't know. That's my only kind of, I don't know quite now how I would do that. You know, in order to make it, because I would want people to be able to make their decisions and stuff. So that's just, you know, that's something to think about on how to kind of make that all work. But, you know, anyway, I don't think this is terrible. I just don't think it's the total solution for doing letters. And the thing is, I haven't seen people do letters. I know now why they don't do letters. I haven't seen anybody do it. But there has to be a solution to be able to do letters, because I really kind of like being able to do some that are personable. People getting married, people having babies, children's names. They're, you know, I've got one I'm going to do that says Ohio. Well, Ohio is spaced out pretty good. It's not going to be as challenging as this one. This just happened to be the word I've chosen. But, you know, it's just, I want to get a pattern so that literally I could put words on and literally just be able to print the top, the bottom, and be able to put the words in the middle, and you're done. And that's just where I've got to figure out, you know, how to all make that together. And I kind of don't know how to do it. Kind of yet. I mean, another thing you could do too, but then it would make it difficult for people to put fabric, if they wanted to do it with fabric, is to just put the letter all in one word. I don't quite know how. I have the cutting, I have the wood tool to cut on the Cricut. I just don't want to haul out my Cricut's there. I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to order some letters on Amazon. And the other reason I want to order letters on Amazon is because if I got a pattern like this or something similar where it had letters, then people could order the letters off of Amazon, and then that way at least they could be able to use the affiliate link and be able to use the same letters that we're doing here and positioned here. If they ordered a kit, it would be letters we would cut off the Cricut. So it may be a little different, but I want to start y'all off on really easy, simple patterns. I've got several I'm going to put up. I'm going to try tomorrow to put up the rose, which will always be free because that was our first one that we did, but just thoughts, which can sometimes for this girl be dangerous, but we're learning. And I don't think I'm doing a terribly bad job. And I think somewhat of a, not an easy, this has not been an easy one to do. I picked a challenging one, but I've learned a heck of a lot doing it. So, just tacking down some of these ends that are coming up, so. Anyway, tomorrow, no, I don't think we have anything planned. I'm just going to kind of take it easy over the next couple of days, and next Friday we'll be at that event in our local area. So, anyway. But I couldn't leave you all hanging like that. But I thought, well, I guess it's time for me to quit tonight. Because it's trying to tell me something, right? It's trying to tell me, oh, you've done enough today now. So I'm going to go rest. I'm going to go do some soap caddies and just be saying some prayers. Whatever this is, I am feeling better than I did on Monday. I'm just still dealing with kind of allergy weather and whatever's going on with my tooth. It's just very sore over here. But I had a little something here, and I think it's all connected here. But I had to be really careful chewing today. It was very, very sore, so. We'll see. We'll see kind of where it ends itself up. There's nothing I can do about it right now until I should just, Mom, you can come grab your phone if you want. Can't do anything anyway till next. I gotta call, make an appointment, and go, and then see what happens from there. And I didn't, we had things happening, and your thing is over there.
Okay.
Hi, Shatikwa. We had things with, things that you all know that happened in our lives. And it was like, I had no time. I know it sounds silly to say I didn't have any time, but I really didn't have time to go with everything that was going on before now. And I was just hanging in there, and I thought, I've got to go and just have them start doing stuff. And as long as Josh is with me, I'm going to be okay. I just don't handle the dentist well. I start having issues. So we'll see. It feels like it's more up in the gum, like I ate something and it scratched it up there and it's sore. But I'm just eating soft foods and taking it from there for the next couple of days, and we'll see where it kind of goes. So last night I had pita chips and hummus, and I think I may have done something when I ate that. So kind of taking it easy. And we'll see where it lands me in the next couple of days. Get through Friday and we'll go from there. It doesn't hurt when I'm not chewing on anything, but when I'm chewing on something, it kind of hurts. It's kind of a little painful when I chew on something on that side. Doesn't hurt at all, anything else. And when I'm feeling in there, it feels like it's on the actual gum. Like I may have cut the gum a little bit, or I may have a little canker sore up there or something like that. That's what it feels like. But say a little prayer that just goes away for right now, and I'll deal with it. I know, I'll go to the dentist. Don't want to, but I'll go. I was planning on it. I thought this year I need to get some work done, and the next get what needs to absolutely get done. And at one point I need to get I've got my wisdom teeth on the top are taken out, but the wisdom teeth on the bottom need to be taken out. And they've told me, of course, she'll have to be put to sleep for that, which absolutely made me a nervous wreck. But we'll just see. We'll see where it all is, but just pray that this kind of goes away without any issues. I would really appreciate that. I'm just being very careful right now. I'm letting it kind of heal, and I had macaroni and cheese today and meatloaf, but I had to be careful because it was just really sensitive, really sore when I kind of bit down over there. So we'll see. We shall see, but be praying. Be praying too for no rain on Monday. But the letters are not hopeless with us, which is kind of where I felt like it was. Letters are not hopeless. I think we could certainly do a little better. It's not hopeless with us. I have to say that. It's not hopeless. So, absolutely not hopeless. And when you're working in those small areas, you have to take your time, have some glue handy to kind of tuck into some of those areas that may otherwise fray. Take your time, don't rush. But there's definitely some modifications. I won't put this onto, I'm going to tell you all this. I will not put anything on the merch store that I don't feel that you could do, or that I don't feel is something somebody could print out and just do. I won't do it. So I'm not going to do something that I'm going to go, this has challenges for me. This is going to have challenges for somebody else. So I will never do a pattern that I feel is not, it's something that you all can't do. And that I wouldn't put this pattern up there right now because there's some things that the kinks aren't worked out yet. So when the kinks are worked out and I feel comfortable, like I could put that up there and anybody can download it and do it, then I'll put it up there. I'm not putting this up there like this. It's beautiful and it's nice, but there's modifications I need to make. And whether or not using flat words across for blessed would be better. The only thing that I'm trying to figure out is how to make it so that here's where I'm here, especially if we do sell kits, is that whatever, and I would have to do 2 of these, okay? Wherever these lines come down is where I could say, okay, this line right here, or this line, I changed it up a little bit. I think did I do it here? Okay, kind of get you to understand it this way. This is kind of what I came up with, okay? So that this line here would literally come down to where the B is, right? The L would come down to here. The sun would come to the start of the E to the end of the S. This would be in the middle of here. The E or the end of the E would be a line, and the end of the D would be a line. So that if anybody ordered a kit, or if they ordered the pieces off of Amazon, right, they would be able to take these guidelines, right, and be able to say this guideline here means that's where you're going to lay your first B. This guideline's where you're going to lay your L. This here is going to be where you're going to lay your E. This here means put this down, put this in the middle, and that's where you're going to find your S. The end of this S is where you're going to lay, and this would all be in the description too. The end of this would line up with your S here. The E, this should have been over here. The end of this E is where your line's going to wind up. This is where you're going to line up your E. And your D there. So you could literally take a ruler, if somebody was doing this, okay, And they could literally take a ruler and just be able to go, okay, there's that guideline. So I'm going to put my B there. I'm going to put my L there. I'm going to put my E there. I'm going to take my S and put it in the middle there. I'm going to take my end of the S, that's going there. The end of the E is, you see what I mean? And then that way, if somebody was ordering a pattern and we gave them letters, they would literally have the guidelines. Some people are really good with this. Some people just, not that they're not good with it, but they just don't have they're not good with being able to kind of line things up well. Sometimes I can do it well, my husband can do it excellent, but not everybody's good with that. So I would want to make it so that if they ordered the pattern off of our website or off of our merch store, right, they would be able to order the letters off Amazon, and those letters from Amazon would absolutely match up to where the guidelines are. So they would know that those guidelines literally mean that's where I'm putting my letters. That's the challenge. If we were printing them off of our Cricut, and the only reason we would print them off of the Cricut is because I don't want to have, if I ordered Amazon letters and you get 150, you know, how many times am I going to get blessed out of one thing? It would make better sense to do the letters on the Cricut, get boss wood, cut them out of our Cricut, and be able to do it. And then I would have it lined up so that people would get to see, okay, this is where I'm putting my S, this is where I'm putting it. So they would have those guidelines to help guide them into at least not making it totally perfect, but being able to make the letters so they could place them. Now, all you would need to do was take those letters, put Mod Podge on it, put the fabric down, and then let it dry for 24 hours. Take your little scissors, cut the fabric, right, around, or take a little small rotary cutter if the letters were, you know, pretty even, and just cut it, but just take the scissors, cut around it. Then go ahead and take Mod Podge, cover the entire letter front and back, which prevent the letter from fraying, and then go ahead and do that. Another thing I've seen people do too is take iron-on, if you're really good with that, trace out a letter and be able to do it. If you're great with sewing, I've seen people take, cut letters and just sew around it and make letters out of that. So another thing I saw in Walmart was the cheerleader letters, but that was going to make the project like 14 inches long. But you could use that. So that's kind of the thought behind this, is kind of doing that if we were going to do a way of doing the letters so that they were, you know, easy for people to just make those guide marks down. And that's the only thing. So it's definitely going to be a work in progress in a lot of ways. This pattern will not be available for a little bit until I get it sorted. But I think that's where I'm going with it, because it's not impossible. It's just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I may end up offering this because people that are really good and have had some experience with this could absolutely do this pattern. It's not impossible. Those are people that want to do it. But again, there's still some tweaks that would need to be made with this, including the B, and maybe just still making that line going straight across the whole entire thing and putting the words in. So anyway, we'll go from there, but it's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna get off, in case I said that, just whatever. Go rest, and see y'all tomorrow. We'll come back and work on this some more tomorrow, for sure. I'm gonna go see, depending on the weather, if it's nice out, I may take you down to the pond and we'll go do some crochet or something. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what I'm up to tomorrow, right? I'm gonna go take it easy for the rest of the night though, but I love the way this is coming, and I'm pretty impressed with this. It's really not the easiest pattern, but I'm learning how to do it, even though it's difficult, and I'm learning a lot. So thank you all for being patient while this girl kind of learns a way around this whole thing. And with that being said, I love you all. Remember to be proud of being you. Everyone else is taken. Keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook is required. We have you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered. Keep watching our stuff so we can get back to monetization. I love you all. Have a great night. Bye.